delight to work with. And I think looking at her artwork, you'll be able to see and sense a little bit more about her, especially looking at the portraits of the rescue animals. You see the warmth and generosity in her. And then also looking at the rest of her work, you sort of get a sense of whimsy and mystery. So, without further ado, let me hand this over to Barbara and let her say a few words about her work.
Okay, I want to test this out. I wanted to thank everyone for coming. I feel very honored they came and very humbled. I really appreciate it. And I wanted you to know that I have been doing art all my life, but I didn't really get serious about art until about 4th grade. And so all through high school and all through college, I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I just thought that, you know, if I just was a great artist, that, you know, an audience would just come, fame would follow, and a fortune. Well, unfortunately, I had to get a job. So for 28 years, I was a graphic artist for Dow Chemical, and then when I got a chance to retire early, I jumped at the chance, and not very long after that, a good friend, Harold, introduced me to Archway Gallery, and I joined Archway about a year and a half ago, and it's a group of 32 artists, and they're like a family. So it's a really wonderful, wonderful organization. And I do a lot of squares in my art, and I picked that as a motif because as a graphic artist for Dow Chemical, I was always doing bar charts and line charts and things that involved grids. So, I mean, a grid, it was 8 hours a day of a grid. And so we have freed the grid. The grid can do whatever it wants, but it's still a motif in my life. I've always liked painting people, and the Luminosity in the name of my show is the fact that I believe that reading has had a great influence on my art. So I love to read biographies of artists. I don't think you can really understand a work of art and put it in context unless you read about the artist's life, what was happening culturally at the time and what was happening to that artist personally. One of my first favorite artists, like a lot of us, was Van Gogh. And of course, I love the Impressionists, and so there's been many phases of my life where different artists have really been my favorites. So I wanted to point out in tonight's show my new favorite artists, not new to any of you all, but something that I've discovered in the past few years is Georgia O'Keeffe, Frida Kahlo, and Jean-Michel Basquiat. And I think they were all trailblazers. I think they all stayed very true to their own vision. And so I feel like when I learn about those artists, that I know more about their work and I can understand their work, and it's like a light goes on, and that's the idea of luminosity. So I take that art that I've learned about and I try to take it all inside, give it my personal stamp, and then come out with my own style or flair on that particular artist. The other part of my show's name is called Shadows, and for me shadows is everything that's not in a book. It's all the feelings that we have for animals, for trees, for clouds, for mountains, that really we have no language to describe, but we know we feel it. And if any of you have ever rescued an animal, that you know that the animal immediately makes a bond with you. And when they make this bond with you, they pull you into this incredible relationship. That it's like every single day of that animal's life, he wants to repay you for saving his life, his or her life, whether it be cats or dogs. So I've been fortunate to rescue many animals and to feel the love for those animals. So I also wanted that to be a part of my show. I wanted to pay homage to rescued animals, and they're so humble, and so I included them in my show. So that's, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you again for coming.